Hello and welcome to the Cardinal Report, the show that takes a look at North Central College athletics. I'm Will Armistead, and today we're checking out NCC women's volleyball, their exciting match with CCIW opponent Elmhurst College, and much more as the Cardinal Report rolls on. The North Central volleyball team started the season rattling off 10 straight victories, and after defeating CCIW threat Elmhurst College in 4 games earlier this week, the Cardinals have won 18 of their first 19 matches. To talk all about this year's squad, we are joined by 9th year North Central coach Karen Kunka. Karen, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
After last night's victory, that puts you 3 victories away from 200. That would be North Central's all-time winningest coach in volleyball. Can you kind of just talk about when you started and where the program has gone today?
Sure, yeah, it's been, it's always, each season is kind of a separate journey in itself, and from when I started, 12 years ago overall, we've just seen a lot of growth in the program. We have more club kids in the program now, kids with a lot more volleyball experience, and I think we've built, and I feel that our athletes really believe in the tradition of volleyball now, that we win and that we will win consistently. And so there's that strength coming from within the team. I've always felt very strongly that that's where it comes from. They have to believe in it and have their own belief in their team rather than just me telling them what to do. So I feel really strongly that it comes from within.
Definitely. Last year you picked up 24 wins. You went 5-2 in conference, 2nd place overall. You're essentially bringing back the entire team with the exception of Jessica Eggert. Mm-hmm. With that, can you kind of compare last season to this season with a lot of the same faces coming back? Yeah,
obviously we came into this season kind of hoping that we would continue on that streak and have another nice season. Losing Jessie was a loss. She was 2nd team all conference. She did a lot of work for us offensively and defensively, but we feel that we're a deeper team this year. We've had to go to the bench in some situations, especially lately, and I think we've held up pretty well because of that. So we had to make some adjustments. We changed our setter this year, moving Steph Riding from setter back to libero. I do think she's one of the best liberos in our conference, if not the Midwest region, and so that was a thing that we really wanted to happen for her senior year. That move meant we were putting a new setter on the floor, right. So that adjustment in itself was the scary part, I think. So losing an outside, we had people to put out on the floor, but I think the bigger adjustment was that move. And it's, we've had some growing pains with a young setter on the floor, but I think, again, that we're holding up pretty well with it.
With the 10 straight victories, out of the 18 victories you've swept 11 of the opponents. How is the team, or what position has the team been in to sweep 11 opponents?
I think in some situations we focus on specific things during a match, whether it be serving, serve receive. We feel that we're a very solid serve receive and defensive team, and I think that keeps us in very good position throughout matches. And we really worked hard on staying focused on those things during matches and pushing for those. So I can't say we do something in particular to go 3 games, but I think the team has actually really enjoyed and grown in the last week, having gone 5 over the weekend, 4 with Elmhurst. It's really helping us get better as a team.
Sure. Now, the only loss of this season was early on. It was against Carthage. Mm-hmm. At the time, they were ranked as high as number 4 in some polls. Their latest victory over North Park gave them 40 consecutive victories over CCIW opponents. Mm-hmm. What look was Carthage giving North Central that was different than any of the other opponents you've faced this season?
To me, they're just a very, very athletic team. They don't make a ton of mistakes. They jump well. They move well. They're fast. I think their outsides have grown a lot in a year. They went from being freshmen to sophomores, and they're a good team. They're very athletic, and they stay very focused through the match.
Definitely. Another once dominant team in the CCIW conference is Elmhurst. You played them last night. It went to 4 games. The first game started off a little sluggish. You were down 7-0. What were the Blue Jays doing to the Cards that kind of neutralized the offense or the defense there?
Whatever they wanted, really. The opening, 10 points, really, they were just running hard and fast with their offense. I thought that was the biggest thing, is that we weren't getting good touches on the ball. We weren't lining up with our hitters. And they run a fast offense. They kind of run a swing offense where there's a lot of movement. I don't know that we were necessarily ready for all that movement. They also made an adjustment with their lineup that we weren't necessarily anticipating. Everything that we had seen and looked at prior to said we were going to see one lineup, and they came out with a different lineup. So we had some adjustments to make. But yeah, they did a good job.
Right. In game number 2, North Central fell behind 13-9. You came back, you tied it up at 15. You ended up winning that. You took the next 12 out of 15 points. Can you kind of just talk about the runs in volleyball and whether it's an 8-point run or a 3-point run and how intricate that is to a team winning?
Well, volleyball is such a mental game to some degree. There's so much back and forth and so much momentum at stake. In the first game, you saw that with them. They had all the momentum. I think second game, we grabbed it and just ran with it. And I think that is where we've learned how to win a match throughout the season. Having gone 3, 4, 5, whatever it's been in our matches, we've learned how to win a match and how to stay with something. We put the players in situations during practice where we put them down 4 or 5 points, and we kind of work on how are we going to get out of this in practice situations, and it pays off on the floor in matches.
In the fourth and final game, it was a seesaw match, back and forth. Can you kind of just talk about that fourth game and how important it was to put the Blue Jays away to kind of keep them from getting back in maybe a potential game 5?
Absolutely, yeah. We didn't want to go 5 with them because they are very dominant swings, or they can be very dominant swings. I thought it was a really, really fun set. It was just back and forth. Our kids really hung in there and were going after things. One of the things I stress with them is that we're going to go for it. We're not going to back off of things. We're not going to play it safe. We're going to go for it. And I thought our hitters really went after some balls. We got good touches, and we put ourselves in position to win. That's what I want to see from them.
Definitely. What's the feeling on the bench like when it's a back and forth match like that? Again, you don't want to let them back in to lead to a potential game 5. Are there nerves? Do you see that coming out with the girls?
You know, I didn't see it with them last night. I think I was probably the one that was more on the sideline, like, all right, let's, I kept wanting us to get ahead, a couple points and just kind of push a couple, but we just kept ourselves in position. And I thought our bench did a nice job of staying focused. Players on the floor, I thought, had great focus during that whole game. So no, I didn't see it with them last night, which was a really good thing to see.
Right. Now, the practice the night before, we had an opportunity to kind of step in there. It looked like the team did a great job scouting Elmhurst. You were kind of targeting certain players, maybe certain plays, things that you had seen maybe last year or that have been pretty consistent with Elmhurst play. How well do you think the scouting went down? And is that a vital part to playing volleyball, kind of just getting to know your opponents and breaking the team down?
I think that's exactly it. We want to get to know them. I don't want to give too much detail to our players. I don't want them, cramming on something and trying to focus only on one thing because there's so much to the game. But I think our players do benefit from having an idea of what they're going to see, from knowing some of the play sets. So we give some information, we work on a couple different things, but we really focus on our side of the floor. We want to make sure that we're taking care of business on our side and make them play us. We don't always want to worry about what the other team's doing. We want them to worry about us.
Definitely. Well, after the competition against Elmhurst, we had an opportunity to catch up with some of the players and coaches in this week's edition of What's the Word?
Second game we came in and we really started to play well together. We started to communicate. Our blocking got better, our hitting got stronger, our defense got better. And so that was it pretty much throughout the match. They usually have to get that first one out. They get flustered at the very beginning, but then after they keep playing, it all starts to even out.
It was important to speed up our offense, definitely, and I think that's what definitely helped us, running faster sets and just getting to where we needed to be faster. And also just staying together as a team. We didn't get down on each other. We didn't get down on ourselves. We just all stayed together, which is the most important thing.
We're still trying to find a lineup. Could you tell? We were running on ourselves, and we were playing a lot of freshmen, and we're just trying to find that magic to get us going. So that plays with us a little bit. We don't have any kind of continuity going, and obviously North Central did.
It was a really disappointing loss for us. We've been working really hard, and we fought with them point by point. It was a good match, and they did a good job, but hopefully next time we'll pull through.
The whole time they can do it, and you want them to do it, and they just have to find it in themselves to pull together as a team and play their best. And we deserved that win. I mean, we worked hard with it. We didn't give up, and we did well, so we're happy.
That's what volleyball is. That's a CCIW. That's an amazing team on the other side. And they did take Wesleyan to 4, who we play next. But, I mean, the synergy on the court was amazing. we call each other family. That's our word, and synergy, and we really work together, and it was amazing. That back and forth is what we practice for every day.
I'm really proud of the conference, to be quite honest with you. I mean, we were perennial champs for a while, and Carthage is perennial champs right now, but nobody can sit and rest on their laurels because everybody's doing a great job. And Karen's got a great team again this year.
We have the 4th best conference in the country right now. So the rest of the teams that we're going to play, we see Wheaton, we see Wesleyan, we see North Park, and we see Augustana. So I mean, just with all that together, there's great competition out there.
We're all very even, and every game is going to be a good game. You have to come to play for every game, and that's what's important about being in the CCIW, and that's what's fun about it.
When we return, we'll be joined by Cardinal Libero Stephanie Riding and outside hitter Crystal Wright. Stay tuned.